I'm Dr. Becky, owner of our OsteoStrong here in Sioux Falls for the past 2.5 years. And I'm so excited to be able to share with you how OsteoStrong and the game of golf relate to each other. This is great info regardless of whether you're a golfer or not, so stay tuned. But before we get into the details of some preliminary research done in the golfing world, let's briefly review how our bodies function, especially as we age, and how the OsteoStrong system works to strengthen our frame and slow that process. So let's just review. Here's a list of some of the ways that OsteoStrong has helped others and what we can do for our members. And many of our members, including you guys watching, have experienced a lot of this for yourselves. So increase in bone density, increased muscular strength, increase in balance, improved posture, decreased back and joint pain, decreased risk of fall and potential for injury, and reducing blood glucose for people with type 2 diabetes. We have over 120 OsteoStrong centers currently open worldwide, with several more ready to open as the franchise is just expanding daily at this point. But with that many centers, we hear thousands of member testimonials, and here are just a few as pertaining to sports and a couple golf specific. But in order to understand how OsteoStrong works, we need to understand how the aging process works. It's probably no surprise to you that the inside of the body is always changing. From birth to about 25 years of age, you're growing stronger, and this growth is very rapid if you look here on this graph here. At age 30, however, we start to plateau in growth and the aging process starts to take over. The bones start to become more porous and weaker. And since the brain will never allow our muscles to be stronger than what our bones can handle, the muscles become weaker as well. So if you look down here at the bottom, this is a picture of the inside of a 30-year-old bone. Here is that exact same bone at the age of 50, and you can tell the difference, right? See how this one is less dense and ultimately weaker, and it's also going to be easier to injure and easier to fracture. When the bones get weak, our muscles also get weak. But this isn't just happening to you, this happens to everyone who doesn't trigger growth after the age of 30. It is absolutely essential that we do something to not just slow the process or stop the bone loss, but to actually trigger growth again. And at OsteoStrong, that's exactly what we do. How do we do it? We hack the system. And here's what I mean by that. Have you ever heard of the term adaptive response? Not many people talk about it. We just know that we have it. Essentially what that means is your brain is your command center. It is designed to protect you. It helps your body adapt and respond to your environment. So for example, when you spend time in the heat, your brain adapts and responds to the environment by triggering your body to sweat. This keeps you cool and protects you. But another example is the exact opposite. When you spend time in the extreme cold, your brain adapts and responds to the environment by triggering shivers. These adaptive responses all have what we call triggers. Light triggers the pupils to contract. Dark triggers the pupils to dilate. Your body has hundreds of these responses that are triggered by your environment. Your bones and muscles happen to be triggered to grow stronger by putting them under pressure. Based on science from the 1800s called Wolff's Law, it's a well-known fact that bone and muscle adapt and respond to heavy loading and impact force. We know that heavy loading and impact force is necessary to trigger bone and muscle growth, but just how much? Well, based on a study done in 2012 with over 2,000 individuals, they found that the adaptive response is only triggered if 4.2 times your body weight is emulated or loaded. So let's say this is your bone, your femur bone right here between these two plates. And if you were to put 4.2 times your body weight of pressure from end to end, you'll trigger osteogenesis or new bone growth. 4.2 times your body weight is a lot. This is precisely why most people don't do it, and especially as we get older. And until OsteoStrong, there really hasn't been a safe way to load the body with this much force without hurting ourselves. So we know that we must begin to trigger. new bone growth for our bodies to increase in strength, age well, and stay active and injury-free. Conventionally, we can do this through powerlifting and gymnastics. But if you remember, you must power lift 4.2 multiples of your body weight, or like stick the landing off of a 4-foot beam in gymnastics. And these may be the only options outside of OsteoStrong you have to emulate that kind of force. But the risk of injury is very high. So even gymnasts who have some of the strongest bodies in athletics retired at an average age of 19. And it's not because they're getting too old or too weak, it's just because the high impact forces are so hard on their joints. So those are the conventional methods, kind of reach those to keep that foundation of the body strong. Then there's the OsteoStrong method, and this is where osteogenic loading comes in, or that concept of that. It's truly remarkable because it allows people of just about any age or fitness level to experience the benefits of high impact forces on the body, but it's just in a much safer and controlled way. Utilizing our 4-device system, we work smarter, not harder at OsteoStrong. So again, here's a list of some of the ways that OsteoStrong can help just in daily life. Increasing in bone, increase muscular strength and balance, improving your posture, decreasing joint and back pain, decreasing risk of fall and injury, and of course, reducing blood glucose levels as well. But you know that OsteoStrong can also help athletes and athletes of all ages. So what follows here, what I'm going to be visiting with you about, is a review of some specific research that was done on a group of golfers. The results are actually applicable to virtually any sport and really any body as well. So there was some golf performance data that was conducted by TaylorMade. TaylorMade is a golf brand for those of you who are golfers. The independent research was conducted in TaylorMade Swing Labs. The very small select number of subjects. This is just kind of some preliminary, very small sampling, very short duration of osteogenic loading sessions, just to kind of see. 11 professional and amateur golfers were actually tested. Participants wore suits that were fitted with 12 sensors, and they tracked shoulder rotation, club head speed, ball speed, and then the weight transfer from start of swing through the backswing, and then all the way through ball contact. All participants had only 4 OsteoStrong sessions over 4 weeks. And the results were actually pretty outstanding, pretty remarkable in such a short amount of time. So here are the 4 areas that were measured. All 4 areas showed improvement. Shoulder rotation increased an average of 13 degrees. Club head speed increased an average of 5 miles an hour. Ball speed increased an average of 9 miles an hour. And stability and balance had all golfers finishing their swing on their front foot. 6 that were tested before OsteoStrong sessions were finishing their swing on their back foot or backwards. So really, what does all that mean? How does that pertain into real life? Well, the benefits of improving shoulder rotation really is a testament to improving flexibility and agility. And so shoulder rotation becomes really important in golf because that is what equates to power and strength being transferred through your swing. But shoulder rotation improvements and improvements in flexibility also reduces the risk of injury for golfers. But we also know that improvements in flexibility just in daily life equates to a reduction in injury and overall body function and body strength for every single person, regardless of whether you're a golfer. Club head speed increases. So the club head speed had an average increase of 5 miles an hour, which actually equates to about 15.8 yards of increased distance. So that's pretty significant if you're a golfer. I think anybody in 4 sessions 1 time a week would take an increase of almost 16 yards on a swing. But again, this equates to an improvement in power and overall strength. Ball speed increase. Ball speed increased by an average of 9 miles an hour, or what that equates to is approximately 18 yards of increased distance. So again, remarkable if you're a golfer for only 4 sessions, but again, a testament to power and overall strength. So essentially having an improvement in all 4 measured areas in just 4 sessions over 4 weeks equated to improvements in flexibility, agility, reduced potential for injury, increased overall power and strength, and improvement in balance and overall body coordination. That's just truly remarkable, especially such a small sampling in such a short amount of time. And here are just two golfers, two pretty famous golfers. They're both professionals who are huge advocates for OsteoStrong and osteogenic loading system in general. Graham Honeycutt is a PGA golfer, and Sophia Gustafsson is an LPGA golfer and also on the Ladies European Tour. She actually was rehabbing some injuries utilizing the OsteoStrong system, osteogenic loading. But what it did for her injury rehab and her kind of comeback golf game was so remarkable that she is now one of the owners of the OsteoStrong master licenses for both Sweden and Denmark, and building out the OsteoStrong franchise system in those two countries. So that's just really exciting. But having said all of that, the most exciting part about this performance data, and the reason that we're sharing it with you all, among some of the other preliminary trials that have been independently tested throughout labs with different demographics of people, is that this has actually led to a lot of independent interest and sponsorship on osteogenic loading, sponsorship of research through independent two very prestigious universities at this point are sponsoring independent research for osteogenic loading utilizing our Spectrum system. So we are just beyond excited and incredibly proud, and hope you are as well. So if you have any golfers or pickleball players or, tennis players, or really just anyone that would benefit from this info and what OsteoStrong has to offer, please share this video with them or send them in for a free trial session to learn more. We'd love to see if we can help in their daily life and help them reach their physical goals.